Day 4, Part 4. So, 1996, my mom had just returned from living overseas for a couple of years. Yes, living overseas. During that time, I had lived with my grandparents and aunts and uncles, and only had had an opportunity to speak with my mom twice. Also, during that time, I had a very serious concussion from football and spent an entire week in intensive care. I actually spent my 16th birthday in the hospital. So during that time, I racked up a really large medical bill, and my mother had signed over my parental rights to my grandparents while she went overseas. So I was actually living on a state assistance, was actually covering my health care during that time because there was no other father figure on my birth certificate. So in 1996, when my mom came back from overseas, she had applied for some state assistance. And the state said, well, in order for us to give you any assistance, we have to try and figure out who the father of BJ is so that they can try and get some of the medical bills taken care of. And my mom had told them the same thing that she had told them all along, that it was Howard Jacobson. So the Department of Social Services finally got involved after 17 years to start pursuing Howard Jacobson as my father. And everything was in a mad rush because, of course, in the state of South Dakota, you can only establish paternity until you are 18. So actually, it was August 2nd, 1996. The Department of Social Services requested Howard Jacobson be tested for paternity to connect him and I together. But it wasn't until January 15th, 1997, when Howard was actually served papers to take the paternity test. So he had some time to think about it. And then the crazy thing is, in the papers that Howard was served, which I actually have, it stated to him that he would owe $368 in child support per month for the last 18 years, plus half of all medical bills incurred. So they gave him a motive right away of, if this turns out to be your kid, you're going to owe several hundred thousands of dollars worth of back child support and medical bills. So the ironic thing is that was in January of 97. It wasn't until March 6th, 97 that the Department of Social Services made an appointment for Howard to go and take that test. They made the appointment on March 6th, 1997, which I actually have that letter as well. And then he didn't have to go and take the test until April 10th, 1997, at Columbia Medical Center in Huntsville, Alabama, is where it all took place. Now, Howard was a dental technician in the military, and now the state of South Dakota has provided him, roughly 8 months to prepare for this potential test, and gave him motive in January of 97, in my opinion anyway, as to why he should do whatever he possibly could to have that turn out in his favor. But anyway, stay tuned, and I'll talk a little bit more tomorrow about the next steps. But hope you're enjoying this, and I'll continue to post.